What's going on, everybody? It's Tom.
And it's Jamie. Welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast.
The Chronicles of 2000 Trees 2024.
So I'm Jeroen Franken. I'm the singer of Arson.
And my name is Rien Bastiaantje Petrus van Dingen. That's my full name. You don't have to try and decipher.
Okay, thank you.
I play guitar in the band Arson, and we're a band from Ghent. And we play a mix between rock and roll, metal, punk, hardcore, a bit of everything. Groovy.
Rough and roll.
That's what we do.
I've just got to mention quickly how fucking fantastic you look.
Thank you.
Like, absolutely unbelievable. You've come
I was
out.
going to say the same thing about you guys.
Oh, shut up.
You look lovely.
What a lot of shit.
I'm starstruck. I'm going to say it. I've got a slight semi. I'm going to say it.
I wonder why we're falling backwards a little
I'm
bit.
literally at a loss for words.
There we are.
But
It's a good start.
I'm hard as a rock. Being in front of you.
is that a Belgian thing or is that? Yeah, okay.
There we are.
Absolutely unbelievable. How's your personal Thursday going so far?
It's pretty good. I'm actually really happy to be abroad for a couple of days, and it was really funny. Like we rented this Airbnb, which was like a Clue house, like it was based on the game Clue. So we woke up.
We had to find a body first, so that's quite a strange start of the day, but fair enough.
So we had to solve a murder when we woke up, and then we drove here, which was nice through the English countryside, and
There's been a lot of bad weather in Belgium for the last couple of days, so we were thinking, it's going to be our first time in the UK as a band. Hopefully,
muddy, rainy.
we were hoping for a bit of good weather. It can't be better than this, can it? I mean, this is pretty much the best weather you're going to get in the UK.
This is peak UK summer.
It's all the summer we get, so you know.
It's only going to last tonight.
Maybe it's because you guys won at the Euros that.
I mean, I'm from Scotland, so
sorry.
That's okay.
All right, that's the end of the interview. Fun being here.
Absolutely livid the Dutch didn't win. Anyway, it's fine. It's one of those things. It's okay. I mean,
Likewise,
Belgium weren't exactly great either, so.
No, definitely.
Which is weird. With the team you have, I was quite shocked.
We had.
Well, you had, yeah.
A long way away.
But Lukaku, anyway, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Sorry, let's just start getting involved in a fucking football
Do you still want to have a fun conversation?
Yeah, we do, yeah. You mentioned that you were in a Cluedo house.
Yeah.
Was it Rien with the pipe in the library?
It's always me with the pipe. Never in the library, though.
Oh, okay. Damn it. I was so close. That was so close. Fucking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
I had a didgeridoo in my room.
Did you actually?
It was amazing. It was amazing.
I had a safari room, which was pretty, it was interesting.
We send the pictures.
Yeah.
We'll send the pictures.
Okay, I look forward to seeing those. Of the room, I hope.
It's a bit more expensive on our OnlyFans, but...
I thought it might have been.
You can see his real didgeridoo.
It was a Jumanji type situation.
It was really cool. All right, awesome.
Oh, fucking perfect. Anyway, how was your set today?
It was amazing. As I said before, it's the first time we're in the UK.
Yeah.
Obviously, things have changed from moving from Brexit over to the entire. We were in bands before Arson, and coming over to the UK was a bit easier.
Yeah.
Now we've held off a bit. Big Phil coming because it's quite a hassle doing it. We didn't know what the climate was and all that. So we were thinking first time in the UK is probably going to be a bit light. Not a lot of people know us. We haven't done any PR here or anything. But then we opened the stage and people kept coming in. And I think at the end of the first song, I'm not going to say the tent was packed, but we could see all the way to the back and people were dancing and waving. And we've got a bartender on stage who brings shots to the front row. And I think we had 4 bottles of whiskey, and I think
At 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah, and it was all gone. So it must have been a pretty fun thing for us, and hopefully for the people as well.
I think it was pretty amazing to see like people actually sing along, even though it's the first time we play here. And I'm like, wait, you guys know our songs? Like, what the fuck?
It must be an amazing feeling.
Really, really
Like
good.
incredible.
It was
Yeah.
great.
I know you say you haven't played over here as Arson much, but like for a festival, do you change the set list up accordingly? So like if people aren't so familiar with yourselves, just drop all the bangers in rather than play the usual?
Definitely. Well, we just had 30 minutes to run through today. And I think if you're going to listen to our music on like Spotify or any streaming service, or you listen to the album, there's quite a lot of diversity in there. We're not just going on full fifth gear all the time. We've got some dynamics in there. There's some clean songs. There's a lot of vibes on there. But we feel like for a festival today and the first couple of days of actually good weather, we're not going to do the sad stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're going to set the stage alight with the most fierce numbers we've got. So we took the best number of our EP and then the fastest number of our full length. And I think it matched really well with the crowd and it got a good reaction. So really happy with that.
The thing is, like, when we were discussing the set list for festivals, we literally said, like, if anybody feels safe, we're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like, we only want it. It's like only victims. Like, we only want to. It should be like a fucking carnage, and that's kind of like the mindset you have to go into.
Definitely.
I love it. So, us as a podcast, we are ambassadors for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. Yes. Are you aware of the foundation and what they do?
Well, once you guys contacted us, we kind of looked it up online just to have a quick skim of what it's about. It's about diversity and alternative scene and what the world's view is on them and whether that's still a safe space to be in.
Yep.
That's kind of what the gist I got from it, but I'm guessing I'm missing a lot of the details of what actually happened.
Basically, the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is based because Sophie and her boyfriend Rob in 2007 walking through a park on their way home from a night out and were attacked by a gang of youths, about 5 or 6 of them I believe it was, and Sophie was put into a coma and never woke up. Her boyfriend fortunately did wake up, but his life's never been the same since. And this was simply because they were goths. It's the way they were dressed. They didn't know these kids. They literally walked into a park, had abuse held on them, and were beaten for the way they were dressed, basically. So all we're trying to do is just speak to people this weekend and see if, because you are part of this alternative community, we're all one big family here, have you ever been treated differently because of the way you dress, the music you listen to, whatever that may be?
I think I can. It's maybe a weird way to describe it because it's not my native language, but I think the reason we end up in this scene is because we are the way we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're not different because we're dressed the way we dress that way because we're different, and it's something that it's inherently part of yourself. So I've seen those things happen to people. It's not always about the way you're dressed or the stuff you're looking at or listening to. It's mainly who you are, and that's a big problem, I think. Obviously, we're talking about this situation, but when you look at race, sexuality, gender,
Absolutely.
That's just who you are. There's nothing you can do about it. And
But it's also like I gotten into so many fights when I was younger, like just because like I was very much into black metal, so I would wear like this bullet belt, this fucking long ass coat, like this fucking Neo Matrix coat, and
I had one, don't worry.
Yeah. But I think what Rien says is very true. Like I think a lot of like what people are looking for in this scene is more of a sort of a catharsis, and of like things that we've, you know, maybe like went through as kids, or you know, like the way that we view the world, and that we just like need something to like cope with, and then also just like fun, heavy music. But I'm really sorry to hear the story, guys. Yeah. Like guts me. Like it's fucking terrible. Like we both lost friends to various things, and it's fucking terrible. Yeah. So
it is a horrible story, but that is why places like this are so important, though, because it gives people in that community a break. But looking back for like when you were younger, or even 2007 when this happened to Sophie, do you think the world's got better at accepting people in this alternative community?
I feel like the extremes have become more extreme. I think most of the general public, like, I'm not going to say the vast majority, but I know a lot of people who are like transgender and all of those topics. There's a lot of people that connect with those topics in a very normal way. It's just a human way. You've got these extremes on the left and on the right. and those are the loudest. And it's very hard to say, like, how did we actually evolve? Because I think it's great that we've got more attention about these topics, and we're discussing it more, and we're talking about it, and there's platforms about it. But it's rough to see that those extremes have become louder as well. So is it actually worse, or is it just louder? I'm not too sure, but if I hear about these stories, I think maybe I've been spared about these really horrific things, and it hasn't really come that close to me. But we come from a town in Belgium, Ghent, there's a lot of diversity there. I think that there were elections recently. We were the only city that voted left and for more green and more nature and more diversity, and there should be social housing. We're the city that does that, and the entire country is voting right. So perhaps I'm biased and I don't see the full picture because I'm in this community that's actually very supportive. And if I look at the rest of the country, I'm like, whoa, is this a bubble that I'm living in? So I'm not too sure, actually.
Well, to kind of like not to counter that, but I do think that like the whole scene has become way more accessible. I think that like when I was growing up, going to festivals, and like when did I start? Like 2003. The separation between like heavy music and different genres. I think like festivals like 2003's and Roadburn and Amplifest and like those kind of festivals have a big part to playing that. Like, how do we cross borders in music that is, you know, like heavy music, but that also has like hip hop and that also has like drum and bass, like fucking Pendulum played at Grass Pop this year.
Yes.
Like I could never imagine that in 2008. I was being like, fucking posers. What the fuck? But now it's like I understand, because there's like this. I do think there is more of like a mutual understanding amongst people, like where like the music is kind of like divided in things that have emotion and things that don't. Like the whole EDM pop stuff is often, you know, I do believe that some people get something out of it, but there's like a difference in between, like, I think like real music. If I'm describing it in a very binary way, but it's like you have kind of this, and I think that has grown, or like those communities have gotten closer to each other. But I still think that there's a lot of ignorance and like misunderstanding in the world in general. Sorry, that was a very long explanation.
No, I think in the end we'll always be the underdog. Like when it comes to genres and diversity, this type of festival is always going to be alternative. It's not going to be the mainstream. But it's good that we keep having them, and we see them growing, and there's more people coming. So I think it's working.
Absolutely. But bringing it back to yourselves, you released your album last year. How was it received? Has it gone down well?
Well, actually, it's been a while since the first EP and the full length, and we had a big evolution in the band. We were doing quite a lot of things now. And if you've only heard the EP and you listen to the album, you could say, whoa, this is different, and that was the goal. And I think the reaction live, that's always the way we evaluate whether it's good or not. And our live sets have been growing every time. The audience is coming back. We're really having a lot of fun festivals like this, 2000 Trees, for instance. So yeah, I would say the reaction has been positive. But we always evaluate it on the live performance, speaking to people, seeing people in the eyes, because everything that's written online, everyone's a skeptic and an elitist and all that. So we tend to stay away from those. Well, it happens, but it's moments like these that we evaluate whether we're doing a good job or not. And we're really enjoying it. Yeah.
And plus, at the end of the day, you want the opinion of your fans, not some idiot behind a keyboard. So.
Exactly.
Gents, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys a lot. When will this be live, actually?
Well, when we get back, I'll start editing, but we'll tag you in all the relevant.